Hey guys, it's BMP89 and I'm back with another unboxing video, but this time it's a little different than what you guys usually see on our channel. Usually I do some G Fuel unboxings, but this time I got something different. I decided to get a Scuf controller and my package just came in the mail today, so of course I had to do an unboxing video on it. Now I'm going to do a few different videos with the Scuf controller. Basically this video is just going to be an unboxing, why choose Scuf, why you might want a Scuf. I'll probably do another video showcasing me after I've been using it for a little bit and is it worth it, pros and cons of the Scuf. And then of course, I don't know if you guys noticed, but I am a female and females generally have tiny hands. Look at these little tiny things. So I want to do a video because I did a lot of research on which one I should go with. Should I go with the Scuf Infinity Pro or should I go with the Scuf Impact? Ultimately I chose the Scuf Impact, but I was pretty skeptical in doing it because I do have small hands and I didn't know after long use of using the Scuf Impact would my hands be tired or I wouldn't like it because it is a bigger controller. I know this is geared towards more of the Xbox controller, but I generally don't care for the placement of the analog sticks. So this is still the normal side-by-side analog sticks, so hopefully this will be alright. Alright, so let's get into it. So here's my box. Now I did order this cord to go with it separately. It does not come with the Scuf standard. You have to order it separately. Basically, if you want a wired connection, this is it. And I believe it's a 10-foot cord. So that's why I decided, just in case if I do ever need to charge it or whatever, I don't sit right up on top of my PS4. I decided to go for this. So if you do want this, you have to order it extra. I think it was like $10. Alright. As I said earlier, I went with the Scuf Impact. This is the box that it comes with, regardless of color that you choose. This is going to be the color, this is going to be the box, what it looks like. Here's a box showcasing what it does. This is more of like a little shoebox type thing. Has a little logo in there. I don't know if you guys can see it. And then you just lift it up. Alright, so open up the lid and on top is a Scuf, Team Scuf sticker. So if you guys are big sticker collectors, this is pretty cool little bonus you get. Welcome to the world of Scuf. So it's basically thank you for your purchase card. An instruction manual on how to set it up, all that. It's so pretty. And this is it. So, what made me decide to buy the Scuf right now is they had Valentine's Day colors, and they had a chocolate one, they had this teal one. I know it's kind of hard to see. The lighting in my room is really bad, but I'll probably put pictures on it so you guys can see a better color of it, but here's what it looks like. But they had this teal color, and then they had a pink color. I went with orange uppers. Alright. Oh, I decided why I really love teal. Teal is one of my favorite colors. And I was like, if I'm not going to buy this now, then it's going to be gone because it's a limited edition. And they did say that it's not going to stay forever. So I jumped on it and got me a Scuf teal. The buttons I have are pink, and the ring is pink as well. I went with Scuf. I don't know if you can tell the difference. There we go. I went with Scuf concave short on the left and Scuf concave tall on the right. I went with this choice because I play with control freaks on my regular PS4 controller, and I like the concave feel of them. And I obviously for that it's one's shorter and one's taller. So that's why I went with concave on both. I know a lot of people, for first-person shooters, they recommend at least one of them be concave and one be dome. But I prefer the concave feeling. I feel like I can get better grip than having it dome. I feel like my thumbs slide off a little bit more, so that's why I went with that. Up here, I went with orange. Orange is my favorite color, and I wanted to incorporate orange in there. And then I just went with some white sugars. As you can see, I went with a textured back. I didn't want blue. So it came with this. This comes in all Scuf standard boxes, so you don't have to buy this separately. Basically, it's just to put onto the rings. They have 2 little holes, little indents right there. And you just put it into the little indents on the rings. You can see that there's an indent right here and then another indent up here. So you just line that up and you twist and it pops right off. And then I'm just going to lock it back. I don't want to take it out yet. But that's so you guys can change the rings. You can get different color rings. If I decide later I don't want the pink rings, I can get orange rings, blue rings, whatever color rings they provide, you guys could change them out. You can also use that, once you take the ring off, you can pull these out, the analog sticks. So if you want to go back to regular PlayStation analog thumbsticks, you can do that. If you wanted to change one out for dome, if you wanted to go back to regular length, whatever type of sticks they offer, you guys can order, and then you can just pop them out and pop them back in and then put the ring in. So that's what that's for. This is the remapping key, so it hooks onto the back, so you guys can do some on-the-fly remapping if you're in the middle of the game and you want to pair up different face buttons for the different paddles. You guys can do that on the fly remapping. I got that included in mine. And then this one has a pin in it, and this is to put in up here. It goes underneath these, so you guys can decide how far you want your trigger stops to go. If you want a little bit of give, you want a lot of give, it's just depending on what your feel is. Initially, just holding this, I feel like it's not built as strong or durable as your standard PS4 controller. It feels not as... It feels like there's less heft to it. It also feels like the plastic, like if I would drop this, it could possibly crack. I'm sure that's not the case. Let's hope that's not the case. So no raging for me in the future. But so far, everything else feels pretty good. The buttons, they click pretty well. The analog sticks click well. They really good movement, just same movement as I would if I had a regular PS4. Good movement as if I had my control freaks on there. I don't know. I'm going to try the SCUFs concave sticks out, and if I don't like them, then I'll probably just trade them back into the regular PS4 ones and then add my control freaks back on. It just depends. I'm going to try it out and see if I like it. And then, of course, you have your paddles on the back. I have 4. I don't know if I'm going to use all 4, but you never know. I might decide to be a complete paddle player. I first ordered a strike pack because I saw a lot of reviews on the interwebs of America saying that that's a cheap SCUF option. It could be a SCUF killer, so I wanted to try it out. What with that was it clips into a normal PS4 controller. It comes around here, goes around this, and then it hooks up here. So what it was, and their paddles came and rest alongside of the inside of these handles of the normal PS4 controller. I didn't like it. I don't rest my fingers. I don't wrap my fingers around the back of the handles. I generally just kind of rest them back here. So after playing with that for a while, I realized I really didn't like it. Trying to wrap my fingers around to press here just was uncomfortable. And if I would press this, I automatically it was like a natural reaction if I pressed the thing that this finger would automatically go down, and I didn't like it. So I would be shooting randomly without, if I would jump automatically and shoot every time, and it was hard for me to try to adjust to that. So I didn't like it. I actually sent that to Jess, and she hasn't tried it out yet. I don't know why. I sent it to her forever ago, so hopefully maybe she can do a review on that for you guys. So how I normally play, I rest my fingers here. So I think this is going to be the best bet for me, and it feels really natural for me to keep my fingers here. The clicks are pretty solid. I like that. I'll probably definitely use an X, maybe a reload. Now, if I do use a 4 paddle situation, it might be a little harder for me to turn to get this inside paddle. I could play like this, but I feel like I would have to get used to that, so I'd have to play a lot for me to get used to that. Not saying I wouldn't do it, but I don't know. It would take a while for me to actually integrate the 4 paddle combination. Maybe start out with a 3 paddle and then maybe go to a 4. But this feels pretty comfortable here. I think this is great. So here's this. So that's my Scuf controller. And once again, I know the lighting in my room is really terrible, so I'll put different pictures with better lighting so you guys can see the color better, because this does not do my controller justice. What is a Scuf and why someone might want a Scuf? This is your standard PS4 controller. I just have Control Freaks. Control Freaks really don't do anything to add to the controller but help maybe a little more accuracy when you're aiming down sights or whatever type of game you're playing. So these really do nothing. This is your standard PS4 controller. When you're playing with your standard PS4 controller and you are playing Call of Duty and you are trying to aim down sights and fire a weapon, you have to use these two triggers. And then use your analog sticks to move your character and move the gun to your opponent. If you are in a gun battle and you are firing and you're aiming and you need to jump out of the way, you need to take your hand off the analog stick that's aiming your gun and you need to hit X. Then you have to, once you jump out of the way, once you take your thumb off, you are no longer aiming with you're no longer putting your gun towards your character. So you're already at a loss. You have to hit the X to jump. So if you're hitting the X to jump, you're not moving with your opponent if your opponent's jumping around as well. So once you hit the X, then you got to move your thumb back to your analog stick to move the gun to where your opponent is at. That doesn't seem like that's a lot of seconds it takes to do that. It's barely any at all, but that could be life or death. You may be a one-shot by the time you decide, I need to jump out of the path of his bullets. So by the time you hit that, he could move his gun over and he could ultimately kill you before you have a chance to put your gun back to fire at him. So basically what the Scuf does is you can integrate the different buttons on the back. So say I want to use this one to use for my X button. So I remap that. So if I want to jump away from an opponent, I just have to hit this. I do not have to take my thumb off at any time of this analog stick that's helping me aim my gun towards my opponent in the gun battle. Therefore, I keep all my hands where I need to, and I can still keep jumping and moving around without taking off. So that puts me at a slight advantage instead of being a one-shot and possibly having to jump out of the way of the bullet. It also, you could change it to a drop shot. So if you're a drop shot player, you could change this to a drop shot. So if you're in a gun battle, instead of jumping out of the way, like drop shotting is a pretty big advantage if you're playing Call of Duty World War II. So if you don't want to jump, then you could change that to your drop shot button. And then you can just automatically have that. So in your gun battle, you automatically drop shot instead of having to take your hand off of the controller, off of what you need to drop shot. You can use other buttons. You can have this as X for your jump. You can use it as your reload. You can use it pretty much any of these buttons up here, including these. Your triggers, you can change any of these to your back paddle button. So if you want to be a strict paddle player and not use any of these face buttons that you use mostly in your gun battles, then you can. It's really up to you what your playing preference is. That pretty much wraps it up for me in a Scuf. If you guys have any other questions or comments, anything you want to know about the Scuf, any type of other tutorials on the Scuf that you want me to try and do once I get accustomed to it, just drop some comments below and let me know, and I'll do my best to help you out with that. Stay tuned for other videos involving the Scuf, gameplay footage of me, what I like about it, what I don't like about it. And again, this Scuf impact controller, is it good and is it worthy opponent for a person who has small hands? Thank you guys for watching. Please like and subscribe. If you guys could give a thumbs up for me on this video, that would be awesome. If you don't want to give a thumbs up, please just give a thumbs up anyway. Be the hero of my story. And if you guys could subscribe, that would be awesome, and hit that bell so you guys know when we're doing other unboxing tutorials, gameplay, whatever. So you guys have been great. I'll catch you guys next time, and I'm out. See ya.
Tell me pretty lies, look me in the face, tell me that you love me, even if it's fake.